Hey everybody, Shane here, Shoebox Legends. Thanks for stopping by the channel for a video response episode today. This one is going out to Tony at JP Wisco Baseball Cards. Great channel here on the platform. Tony lives over in Japan, I believe, and has a very unique perspective on the hobby. Great cards, great commentary. Just really enjoy his content. In fact, he got me looking for a 1950s football card based on a video of his recently, and I'm not even a football card collector. So that's the type of job that Tony is doing over there at JP Wisco Baseball Cards. So what Tony wants to see for this call that he's put out there, it's not really a contest or anything, just a call to see your multiplayer cards. And what he means by that specifically, he wants to see cards like the ones up in the background here, not cards like this one, where multiple players are put on the same card from a design perspective, league leaders, multiplayer rookies, things like that. This is not what he is looking for. He is looking for these types of cards where the natural photograph on the card shows multiple athletes or multiple subjects. Now, I love this type of card. Honestly, I was digging through boxes. I probably could have easily come up with like a couple of hundred of these types of cards to show off. Obviously, had to cull this list back a little bit. I think I have about 20 or so here. So I'm going to try to go through them relatively quickly to keep this from becoming like a 30-minute video. And I'm going to start with the card that I thought of first when I heard of this, I guess, request for a video. And it's this one right here. The 1957 Topps Dodgers Sluggers. Love this photo. I've picked this one up within the last year or so, alongside a couple of other 57 Topps cards, and it's just glorious. Hall of Fame talent represented here, and just some of the big names for that franchise when they were still located in Brooklyn before the infamous move to the West Coast. So this was the first obvious card that I thought of when I heard of this, and it's one of my favorite combo cards from the 1950s period. So we're going to have more vintage baseball combo cards like this to look at in a minute, but before we do, I have a couple of quick hockey cards to sneak in, and I'll keep these brief. I know Tony's largely a baseball guy, but check this one out. From 2008 Upper Deck Hockey, this is a Henrik Sedin card, who's the guy on the left here, but also depicted on the card alongside him on the bench is his twin brother, Daniel. And they were both first-round draft picks by the Vancouver Canucks, played the entire length of their careers together for that one franchise, retired together, and are going into the Hockey Hall of Fame together. And so I've shown this card before, even in another video response that I did, but it's just one of my favorite hockey cards just because of that cool backstory, and seemed like a great fit for this video response. Here's another one I've shown multiple times, but I'm a huge believer in this. Connor McDavid on the left and Sidney Crosby on the right, facing off, passing of the torch type card. The best player in hockey, the best player in hockey for probably the 15 years prior to that, or certainly in the argument anyway, facing off against each other on this glorious card. I've probably bought, 10 copies of this at this point when they were cheap, just because I really am a big believer in this image. And so for that reason, it was an obvious choice for this contest as well. Then I have a couple of vintage hockey, and then we're going to move back to baseball. These are both from the 1972 Topps hockey set. So check out this Bobby Orr All-Star. Now, what's cool about this one, in the action shot, if I'm not mistaken, behind him here is Harry Howell, and in goalie, I think, is Rogatin Vachon for the Kings. And if that is the case, which I think it is, all three of these players are Hockey Hall of Famers. And so I think that makes this a really cool Bobby Orr card. Also, there weren't a ton of action shots in 1960s and early 70s hockey, so really cool card there. And then from the same set, check out this image. No idea what's going on here. I think it's like a shot that was deflected by this Bruins player on the left, and this goaltender here for New York is covering or protecting himself, but it almost looks like a fist fight scenario, like put up your dukes or something. So just a wild multiplayer image that I can't really explain. I wasn't born until about 10 years after this card was issued, but a favorite hockey card of mine for that reason. Let's go to vintage baseball now. After all, Tony's channel is JP Wisco Baseball Cards, not hockey cards. Here's a great one from 67 Topps. It's been a while since I've shown this one. Many of the cards in today's video I've shown on the channel before, but I know I create so much content and so many videos that, it's unlikely that Tony or anyone else watching this has probably seen all of these, so it's kind of cool to get them all in one place. But we have the champs, the two Robinsons, flanking Hank Bauer here for the Orioles. Love that card. I've always been a big fan of that one. Along the same line, here's one from the year prior, 1966 Topps. This is the Buck Belters featuring Willie Stargell and Don Clendenin. A really great card there. And those with a keen eye will notice I had to sneak at least one of these in. This is a Topps Heritage 50th Anniversary Box Topper buyback, which is a big part of my collection, buybacks. I have numerous multiplayer vintage buyback cards like this, so I wanted to include at least one of those in the VR here for Tony. So cool card there. That'll be evaluated for entrance into my Franken-set, my buyback Franken-set after this video. And then here's a great one. As far as leaders cards, or not leaders, but combo cards go from the 60s, this one has to be up there. From the 1968 Topps set, Harmon Killebrew, Willie Mays, and Mickey Mantle, 3 members of the 500 Career Home Run Club, all on one card. Just amazing. I've had this copy a long time. You can tell by the flip here, but just one that I'll always keep because it doesn't get much better than this. I mean, honestly, no offense to Harmon, but I guess if you swapped him out for maybe Hank Aaron, you might have the ultimate trio from the golden era of baseball. But, even as it stands, this is a pretty great combo card. And then speaking of all-time greats on the same card, here's a couple of those. More recent card here from 2010 Topps. This is the gold version of the Seattle Mariners team card. It features, 2 of the best players of their respective eras, Ken Griffey Jr., and then kind of in the next crop of players following him, Ichiro. So love that image. The Mariners, when I think of the Seattle Mariners, these are the 2 players that come to mind for me. Most notable 2 players probably ever to play for that franchise. And I love having them on the same card, embraced in a high five there. So great stuff. And then here's one from my favorite parallel set of all time. I saw my friend Jason at Mr. Fisher Bike in his VR showed one of these 2011 Topps Platinum Diamond Anniversary cards, and I've got one here for you. Willie McCovey from the Retired Legend short print portion of the checklist, and he is sliding in here against the great Johnny Bench. So how's that for a multiplayer photo? Absolutely love it. And then this one's a little bit off the beaten path, but in terms of, having multiple greats on the same card, how about a basketball legend and a broadcasting legend on the same baseball card? So this is a favorite of mine from the 90s. The Michael Jordan with Harry Carey from the 1995 Upper Deck release. Picked this one up a while back in a CSG slab because I really like how the black flip here just kind of matches the White Sox and a lot of the color in the photo. But I mean, that is a classic. Like 2 huge titans of sports on one card in a set that, the main character or the main subject isn't even normally affiliated with. So love that Jordan. MJ, nice clean design on the 95 Upper Deck release. And then as far as modern stars of the game on the same card, we have this Topps Black MVP caliber in the background with Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout, who it seems like are not going to be teammates for too much longer here. But one that I like even more than that I've picked up this past year, the Pacific Power card from 2019 Topps. And this is the Independence Day parallel. Numbered to 76, great team color matching here. Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani, shaking hands, 2 of the best in the business. And I just love the look of this card, the scarcity of this card, the team color match, everything about it. Highlight of my year, or one of them anyway, on the baseball card front. And I have another modern baseball card. This is a job well done by Topps from last year's Stadium Club release, the Hank Aaron card. They did this killer image with him and Willie Mays laughing it up, smiling. I love this shot. I have grabbed a few different versions of this just because I love this photograph so much. This one here is the members only parallel. I have a couple of refractors and other things, but just awesome. Maybe my favorite image on any baseball card of 2022. So great job by Topps on that one. I've got a couple of celebration cards next up here. I live in New England, and I'm a Red Sox fan. Grew up a Red Sox fan, so I have a couple cards from their last two World Series championships. So from the 2013 World Series, check out this one with David Ortiz being mobbed by his teammates, and this is the also team color matching red hot foil parallel. Got this from my hobby buddy Peeps recently in a care package. Love this card. It was a natural selection for this VR. And then from the 2018 championship, I have this 2019 mini card, Sweet Victory. This is the pink, numbered out of 25, but I love this embrace between Chris Sale and Christian Vasquez after the final out, the clinching out of the 2018 World Series. Just a great image, and again, seemed to make sense to pair up with that David Ortiz. And then I'm going to switch to a couple more favorites here. I got one on the baseball front, an epic one on the hockey front, and then I'm going to close out with two non-sport cards, believe it or not. So let's do the baseball one first. This is another one, much like the Dodgers Sluggers that I led off with, that popped into my mind immediately when I saw Tony's video. It's from the 91 top set, in this case, the Desert Shield release. It's the Carlton Fisk. This is one of my favorite multiplayer images, period. Like, I love the action here. Fisk at the plate. You can tell the throw is coming in just out of frame here to the left. You got Cecil Fielder, who's no small man, chugging towards home. His teammate here telling him to get down into a slide. You have the crowd standing in the background. This is awesome. I absolutely love this card, which is why I picked it up in a Desert Shield PSA graded version. But, Fisk is a man who has many great cards, but out of all of his great cards, this action shot really stands alone as just incredible. So huge fan of that one. I got one great hockey autograph here. So another card that I picked up this past year that I'm very proud of from Upper Deck Masterpieces. This is Bobby Hull and Gordie Howe, both signed on card from their days in the WHA, the World Hockey Association, which was a rival league to the NHL, started up in the 70s, and they lured these two greats over to play in that league. And getting them both on this card, shaking hands, having both of them have autographed it. Both of these gentlemen have passed away now, and they are probably, at least arguably in the mix, the two greatest or most well-known and significant hockey players of the 50s and 60s on a single card here, hard signed autoed. So as I know not everybody's a hockey fan out there, but as autographs go, this one is about as good as it gets for me. And it's almost the equivalent of, having like a dual signed Hank Aaron and Willie Mays or Hank Aaron and Mickey Mantle card. That's kind of the significance of this one on the hockey front. And then let's do two non-sport cards to close it out. I have a movie card and a music card here because I do enjoy non-sports in my collecting. The music card we'll do first. This one just cracks me up. It's a Beatles card, probably the goats of rock music, at least in my opinion. This is a John Lennon card. Check out this photo. It's from the 1964 Beatles black and white set. So you have John over on the right here singing to a crowded hall full of pretty much all women who are just going bananas. And this lady in the front, I believe, has actually passed out just due to excitement or the fervor of, having the Beatles right there in front of her. So you've got like some security guards here that are trying to deal with this whole situation. And in the meantime, he's just doing his thing, singing to the crowd. You got arms in the air. Everybody's loving it. This image is just awesome. So I know this isn't multiple athletes on a card, but stretching a little bit here. But I think Tony would agree this is within the bounds of kind of the spirit of what he was going for with this VR. So I had to include this awesome John Lennon. It was just a great excuse to pull it out again, especially in light of what's likely to be the final Beatles song having been released within the past month here. So cool card there. And then the final card, this is maybe the most epic movie moment of my youth, and it involves two characters on the same card. So I figured it was a good way to close out this video. From the Empire Strikes Back Star Wars movie set, we have Embrace the Dark Side. This is the scene between Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker, where Luke learns of his link as being Darth Vader's son. And so, as a kid who grew up in the 80s and into the 90s, The Star Wars franchise was, probably my overall favorite movie franchise growing up, and this was the biggest moment in that franchise. It's one of the biggest moments in movie history, and it involves two characters who are really central to my youth and to a lot of popular culture here in our country and worldwide for that matter. So that's my final multiplayer or multi-character card. Tony, this was awesome. I had a blast. I could have, done one 2 or 3 times as long as this easily, but we're going to cut it there. I hope you enjoyed it. Anyone else who stopped by to check it out, I certainly appreciate it as well. Would love to hear your thoughts on any of these cards or even your favorite combo cards that you can think of in the comments below. And I'll be back soon with some more content. Till then, enjoy the hobby, everybody. See ya.